Alright, so this is Egan talking about talking about A5 or A4. A4 and A5. So I made a video for A4, but it ended up being like 15 or 20 minutes long. And so I might upload that and just make it unlisted, but I was complaining for a long time through it because when we play tested A4, well, so the thing is that A3, so A2 felt okay, and then A3 felt better, and then A4 we were going to play with the full serve, and I wasn't really sure how well the full server test was going to play, but I thought, since A2 played okay and A3 played better, I thought A4 would play, better, if not just as good or something. And A4, it was on a full server, and it just like it everything that was kind of bad about it, because we played A3 with a 7v7, and in A4 we played with a full server 12v12, and so it like doubled the amount of player problem related things. And so actually A5, so we've already made A5 and playtested it apparently, but you can see here again it's like 7v7, 7v8, and we ended up going down to like 7v7 again. That was luckily, I actually was kind of looking forward to playing again with 7v7 because it playtested well in A3 and A4, so I was like, okay, well, if this works in A5 with 7v7, then it'll probably work with a full server. I mean, I said that last time too, I guess, but like, anyway, so I've made some changes to, of course, I've made changes in A5. The problems with A4, I'll get into that just kind of quickly, were that when you were pushing into the defending team, they respawned way too quickly. Here, I'll kind of like go in onto the area. So this is A5, so it's not, you know what, I'll keep zooming around, because even though this is really cool, look at that, they're like passing up and stuff. So even though that's, okay, A5 is cool. There's the new mechanics that I've added in A5, and it's really, really fun. It's really fun. They actually scored here, I think. I think they scored here. They gotta score here. Come on. Score, 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 score. Yeah, they scored. Okay. A5 is so cool, in my opinion, because of the things that it does that no pastime map does that I've seen, and it's unlike regular CTF2 because it's pastime, and it actually utilizes things that are in pastime as opposed to regular CTF. It really does feel like it's pastime as opposed to regular CTF, which I thought it could be, because you're like, why isn't it just regular CTF? Isn't like regular CTF just like that? But no, there is actually a reason, and it feels good for pastime. But that's A5. I'm getting ahead of myself. A4, problems with A4 were that what are the problems with A4? So there's the spawn times of the defenders, right? So the spawn times of what I have currently so far, if I could do show triggers toggle, can I do that in a demo? Sweet cheats. Yeah, well, I guess show triggers toggle doesn't work in a demo environment. Anyway, there's a big trigger in A4 across this whole choke point building, and so it's at this this location on the building here, and all through the rest of the score zone, that if you push a ball into here, the defenders are at 10 seconds, and the attackers coming in are at 6-second respawn time minimum, and then to a maximum of double that. And so we tried that on a full server, and it was still like there were way too many defenders defending. So I, in A5, have changed that, so if the ball goes into this final area, then instead of 6 and 10, so attackers, defenders, 6 and 10, it is going to be, and we've playtested it now with low man players and it feels fine, 6 and 12. And then, if the attackers get on the point itself, which is actually not just the point itself, it's like the whole kind of like, it's like this whole section of the point, so it's like this whole brush of the point. If they push onto the point itself, then the attackers get 3, and the defenders still are at 12. And the in A5, I've changed it from here all the way over to here. So you just push past mid immediately, and they get the horrible 12-second respawns, and you get the awesome 6-second respawns. And so it was good that we did the 7v7 test-ish, or 8v8, I guess, of A5, because it ended up feeling fine, and I was worried that with low players it would feel bad, but it ended up feeling fine. So now we just need to play test it with high player count and see if it actually made any difference, as opposed to A4, which was kind of bad. And you can see here too, I've applied this circle outliner to the jack. I would have wanted that to be like an actual official outline, but how I'm doing that currently is I just have a flag parented to the jack, the pastime ball, and the flag is set to the TC game type. So I don't know what the different game types were. I guess they were experimenting with different sort of flag game modes, like King of the Hill and TC and Invasion and Territorial, or like Robot Destruction and stuff. Of course, Robot Destruction ended up being a thing, but there's like 4 other game modes that are available that no one really knows what they do, but it's described and documented on the wiki. And the TC one says that you can't pick up neutral flags, and you can't pick up the enemy flag. You can only pick up the colored flag that is strictly your color, not even neutral. And so what I have is a neutral flag parented to the pastime jack, in the shape of that. I don't know if you guys know the beach ball prop. So it's just a big circular sphere, and I didn't have to like pack any custom content. So I don't know if you can tell, but there's like a little blip on the side because it is a beach ball. It's like an invisible beach ball. Yeah, you can see the top just went past there. The little handle, the spout or whatever. And then to make it almost invisible, because normally it would be totally visible and obscuring the pastime jack, I've just set the max fade distance to 1. So if you go directly in its center, maybe it'll appear for a split second, but you'll be inside of it, so I guess you wouldn't really actually see it. But yeah, otherwise if you're not directly in its center, it's invisible because it's like hidden because it's faded out. But the outline luckily still appears in that instance. I had to experiment a lot to find that, but this is good because now if you're like defending, you can see where the jack is. You might be thinking, and I was thinking too, would that be overpowered? Well, we played it, and at least in the 7v7 8v8 environment, it felt fine because you weren't, well, maybe it's hard to describe because we only play tested the one time, but it did feel fine, you know? Like it moved around enough. You can see it's like a fucking ghost ball, right? It's, sorry, I swear a lot, but it's like it's moving around on its own and stuff. So it typically is attached to scouts still in pastime, but that's cool because the scout is now like the healing class, the level 2 dispenser healing class. Yeah, that's so cool. I like that. Remember how we found in A1 that the ball was almost like a debuff? So you'd throw it at the enemy so they become slowed and stuff? Well, now the slowing is off, but that was actually a tactic, a rare tactic, because it was potentially dangerous, you know? So the idea is that if you're battling a guy, you can toss the jack at him so he's forced to pick up the jack, and when you pick up the jack, you can't throw it away immediately. It takes like a second before you're allowed to be throwing it away. I think that's due to prevent spamming of like throwing it back and forth between 2 people. You know how that happens in CTF sometimes to like farm points. So in pastime, you can't throw it away immediately, which is kind of cool. So you throw it at the enemy guy who's about to kill you, and then he's forced to pick up the jack, and then you try shooting him. Now the dangerous part, and this is why it's like a kind of rare but cool move, he can take the ball and throw it to somewhere else, or throw it to his teammate who's a scout and just like runs with it, you know? So like you give him the opportunity to do what he wants with it, but then it's also sometimes surprising. It's a really cool move. So I really liked that that was on there, because like the outline is on the jack now, because now it's a lot more focused. Now is another problem of A4 with the massive amount of players. It was really easy to lose track of where the jack was, and it wasn't really, because you could lose the jack so easily, it was more just like hardcore deathmatch between almost like a too small environment for 12v12. So the spawn times will help on that, because now there will be less players, but also, you know, now if you don't own the jack, you can still generally see where the jack is, and it becomes more focused and it becomes more fun. So I almost kind of wonder why pastime doesn't have the pastime ball, the jack, visible like this, what I'm doing all the time. I kind of wonder that, because it's fun. I don't know if they've ever tested that. Like, you'd have to imagine that they probably had a test with that, like, right? Anyway, maybe they just didn't bother testing it, but it ends up being pretty fun. Oh, so look how cool that is. So the red guy just chased it all the way down, and then they killed him. Yeah, see, I like this. I like that. I like the spawn. So the spawn time. We're on A5. We play tested the crazy spawn times, and even in 7v7, it was crazy because like sometimes you would die, and because it's 12 seconds minimum to a maximum of double, you could be dead for 24 seconds when the ball is coming in your area. So you have to super trust your guys to defend the point for 24 seconds, and you're like, oh god, 24 seconds. You know, that's a long ass time. And it was really fun. It was really intense. It was a little bit punishing though, and so I've already made an A6, and instead of having the triggers be immediately past the neutral zone, I've pushed them back to around here. Ish around here. Actually, I've put it precisely on this line here. I don't know if that was necessary, because so the thing was, like, it was good that like the spawn times were so affected because people actually scored in this, you know. Oh, and that was I'll get into that in a second, the actual scoring part, but it felt a bit punishing because a couple times I noticed the countdown becoming down like 4, 3, 2, and then it would go up by like 9 seconds or whatever, right, from like 6 to 12 or whatever. So we would go up like an extra 6 seconds. So it would go like 4. It would be like 4, 3, 2, 1, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And maybe that's fine. Maybe it is fine. But it felt a little bit annoying that they would just pass the middle part, and then your respawn time would go from like 3, 2, 1, 7, 8, or 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It felt a little punishing. It didn't feel bad because it felt balanced. You know, I liked that that was like the mechanic, and that was really like the mechanic. It was, you would just throw the ball down the ramps into their area, and then you'd affect the ball. You know, you'd affect the timer. So maybe if I ever do detail the map, I'll really like have to detail where their zone that affects the timer is, because like officially, like almost like a big hazard strip right across the whole area. Or maybe even in A6, I'll just move that upwards like to the middle of this ramp, and because it was here, and I've moved it to here. Would that be too far away from mid? Because I really liked that you just throw it across mid. You know what? No, I think over here is fine. I'll keep that here for A6, just so it feels a little bit less punishing. But yeah, what we play tested was really good. Okay, I'll talk about the scoring now. So the scoring is interesting. This round, the round time limit is set to 20 minutes, and that was fine. See, look at that. You just like throw it into the enemy zone like that, just so your spawn times get affected, and that was really cool. And so you can just like toss it down the ramps into the enemy zone. See, I really like that. I like that idea. You know? Like, you don't even have to push it. Oh yeah, I remember I was just about to spawn and the engineer decided to go up instead of down, and we respawn. See, this is what I mean. Like, now they just pushed into our base, and we were at like 3, 2, 1, and we would have respawned, but they just pushed into our base, and now it was like 3, 2, 1, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It just felt a little bit punishing. I wish the respawn times didn't work that way necessarily. Like, if you set the respawn time while someone is respawning, then it adds to their timer. I kind of don't like that that happens. I wish it didn't affect the ones that were currently in use. But see, look how cool this is that the focus is always on the ball instead of just random deathmatch now. You know, like that ball is like, of course it is like dealing with the people who are in the base, but like you always kind of go, where's the jack? There's the status of the jack. You know, it's like you don't need the player blips on the HUD. You just need to know where the jack is, and it feels really good. I'm like, you know, I keep saying that over and over, but I think, yeah, I think it would be better without the blips on the HUD and just where the pastime jack ball thing is. Is there anything else I need to talk about? Oh, the scoring. I keep flipping past the scoring. So the scoring, the timer at the top of the screen is set to 20 minutes, and we felt that the first round of 20 minutes, it went on for a little bit too long. If I go demo UI, how long have we been going yet? About 20 minutes now. So we did feel like the first round just went on a little bit too long. So what I think I'm going to do, and what I've actually done for A6 already, Now I haven't released A6, but I've made A6 so far. I'll set the timer instead of to 20 minutes to 12 minutes. And the idea here, because in pastime, if you let's say blue scores 1 point and red scores 0 points, and the timer runs out, blue will win. It's not a stalemate. So whoever has the most amount of points will win at the end of the time limit. So yeah, look at that, cargo tokens. I love the concept of just chucking the ball across the map. I love that too. It's so cool. You just throw it just so it affects the respawn times. That's such a cool idea. It really was fun because that really like heightens the experience of pastime and not just regular like invasion CTF. You know, just throw the ball so that you can affect the respawn times. I really like the drastic respawn time difference of 6 versus 12 or 3 versus 12. That really did feel fun in 7v7 8v8 experience, of course. So we'll still have to do a test of what is this, A5 and then A6 of how. I wonder if I should do a test of A5 before I release A6. I really do wonder. I really do wonder. I feel like it should be easier to push out a last, like the attacker should be risk holding right outside. Yeah, see, that's exactly what I mean. Is like, should it be less punishing? And then like if it was all the way back here, and then it would be just easier to push out, because instead of having to push all the way past mid, you only have to push out of your choke zone area. Because this feels like it's easier to push than all the way past this big barrier thing, you know? I feel like that would be easier to pass through. Yeah, I think that would be better for A6. So A6 will be really cool. Yeah, see, it's just impossible to push out. But now instead of having to push out all across mid, which did feel like a big barrier, all you have to push out is past this thing. I think then if it was this location, that it should just feel more obvious somehow. Maybe color it or something. Maybe make the big building the neutral spot. Yeah, it is actually already a neutral spot. Maybe if the ball is near last, some doors or fences rise up to make the last areas less powerful. I don't know about that. Anyway, so the timer would be for set to 12 minutes, as I said, and then if they're up by 1 point, then that's it. It'd be like hockey or something, you know? Points are kind of rare to get, but all you need is like 1 or 2 points ahead, and then you're in the lead, and they just need to maintain that advantage. It'll feel like a hockey match instead of just like, we gotta capture 3 times to win. It'll just be like, let's survive 12-minute periods of play, you know, by getting the upper hand of the score, you know? So it did feel really good. It, of course, just the rounds felt a little long, and it felt a little bit punishing, so I've moved the triggers back to here as opposed to here in A5. Now, again, I didn't really want to talk about A4. This video is probably already like 20 minutes or some shit, but I had a lot of good things to talk about A5 as opposed to A4. I've mentioned that at the start, but I'll mention it again. The A4 test, it didn't go too well. It did not play as I expected and hoped it would, and it was just a little frustrating. So I was glad that the A5 test, maybe it is just because of the lower sample size, you know, the player count, but it did feel a lot better. So we'll do a test of A5 or A6, I guess, with a full server. I'd like to do that. So sometime, what day is today? What even? It's Wednesday apparently. I have no idea what day it is. Like I'm on summer break now. I have been. Oh wow, it's been almost a month. I've been on summer break. So I have a 4-month summer break in between my semesters of school for game design, and 4 months summers, and I'm already 1 month in, which I think is fine. Anyway, that's enough about me. But that's pastime. What is it? A5, A4, and A5. Thanks for watching. Ooh, we'll just watch them cap. I don't think they capture this one, actually. Like, he's going up against too many things. Yeah, they push him out. Maybe we could just watch a little bit of the game, because it was really cool. Like, just pushing with your... I think we actually did capture this one. So you take out the sentry gun, and then you gotta push in with your guys. You have to like kill them, and then you're okay pushing with your teammates because he's the level 2 dispenser. But look, they're able to block the capture. It's not just regular like a pastime. Oh, and they're able to block that and throw the ball into the lower area, and they just save their skin by the hair of their teeth or whatever that phrase is called. And then look, he just runs away, and then I think they actually got the cap. I don't remember, but it's just such a cool concept, you know. And he's able to run away, and then now he would be affecting the respawn times already. and so they'd be at equal instead of being at the low advantage. But now all they need to do is push in, and look, the point's like halfway capped. All they need to do is get the ball there, and then they'll be even, like, because it's a 3-second cap, but now it'll be like a 1.5-second cap, and all they need to do is like have a scout up here pass the ball up to him or something, you know. Oh, it's such a cool idea. And then you know that the ball is coming, so that's still the focus, you know. Everyone's like, where is the ball? Where is the ball? It's like behind you, and you go, wait, is he gonna turn around? I think that was me. No, that wasn't me. Anyway, they defended the point. Where did I go? Did I die? Oh, I'm just like wandering around. Weirdo. Anyway, so that's A5. Yeah, we ended up pushing it through to my medic friend and killed a guy, and then I threw it back to him or something, or he picked it up, I don't remember. And we just, yeah, see, I love the idea of passing it back and forth, because, like, it's weird, isn't it? Like, I've never experienced that in pastime before, the idea of passing it back and forth, because now it's a dispenser. It actually makes sense to, like, who's holding it. Look at that, you like throw it at the enemy so that you can kill him, but then he takes it and he runs away with it. So that was the strategy, was to throw it at the guy so that you know, it kind of, like, it's like a, what are you gonna do now, because now you have the pastime ball and you kind of like throw him off for a second because he can't shoot, but you pass him the ball and he runs away, and he runs like all the way back. So the blue guy's actually carrying it now, but like, oh god, that's such a cool idea. There's a lot of interesting strategies that come because it's pastime as opposed to CTF. Look, like, you just throw it. There's actual reason to just like take it, and but now they've got sentry guns up, and now you actually need a soldier to come around, and so of course it's now v5v5, and it still plays well, but I am worried about the max player count, what that's going to do to the game mode. But I think the spawn times, which is 3 and 12 and 6 and 12, attacking the base, I think that'll help. The outline at least will help make it more focused, in the very least, you know, because at least that works. I'm really surprised that actually works, but it works. So that'll help with the 12v12 at the very least, and hopefully the spawn times help a little bit more. I think they actually get the capture here, but yeah, like, we'll just watch the capture happen. Nice. Alright. Alright. Alright, so that's A4 and A5, and then moving into A6, we'll do a 12v12, and then I'll probably do a little update video then too. How long is this video? We're at 22 minutes. Oh my god, that was way longer than I thought it'd be. But thanks for watching. Again, I guess. Thanks. Okay. See ya in A6, A7.